What up? In this episode, we'll be talking about my top 5 books that everyone should have in their libraries and keep them in their libraries. Because the books that I'm going to show you are not the type of books that you read once and you're done with. This type of books that I'm going to suggest are the books that once you buy them, you keep them in your library and you refer back to them at least once a year to get a refresher, to learn new things, to see things with a new perspective. Also, in this episode, I received this package here the other day. This is definitely book related and it will be worth you watching the video until the end to see what's inside. I think it's gonna be nice and I think it's gonna be something that you guys are gonna love. So, without further ado, let's get this started. So me and my family are about to go on holidays in a few weeks. And as I ramp down towards Christmas holidays, so the content will keep on dropping weekly all throughout December, so don't worry about it. I'm here for you guys. I hope you guys are here for me. Since you guys are asking me a lot on how I do things, how I've been animating, there's been a lot of interest on these videos that I've been doing, which I'm very thankful for. So I'm gonna start a new series of videos that I'm gonna call them animation tips and tricks. I think I'll cover the tools that I use, tips and tricks that I gather from over the years, all kinds of stuff that should be really good and should make your workflow much better. I'm gonna start this episode with something that I would like to call knowledge, and this knowledge comes in the form of books. And I'm gonna give you guys my 5 top books that I like to recommend to everyone. So before I get started, I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend James Lyons. James started a YouTube channel quite a few years back called How to Animate. His latest video on acting tips for animators, it's gold. You should definitely go and check it out. I'll put a link below. James and I worked on GoldenEye. I showed you guys on my last video. If you haven't checked it, go and check it out. And James Lyons used to work with me, and he's an amazing animator, very talented, very knowledgeable, and you guys should go and definitely check him out. In the beginning, when I first started studying animation, 2003, it's a long time ago, everyone had a book or something that they knew that was the ultimate book. You should definitely read this. So these 5 books that I'm going to show you in the end are definitely not going to be the only ones that you want to buy. This is just maybe the 5 that you can start with. I'll show you a few of the books that I got over the years. I remember when I was first starting, Animation Mentor started. And I remember Shawn, which is one of the founders of Animation Mentor, had a newsletter called Tips and Tricks for Animators. And it was fascinating because the amount of knowledge that he dropped on those newsletters was amazing. And then after all those newsletters dropped, he released like a PDF with all of those notes together. So I actually got the book. It's a PDF that you guys should definitely go and check it out. I had this for a long time. I normally go back to it from time to time. It's never too late to actually have this knowledge, and the knowledge that you have now, it will differ from the knowledge that you're gonna have in the future, because you're going to start to get certain things in a different way. Another PDF that you can get online is this books by Luske. He has a lot of notes that you can download. I put all the links down below so you guys can get it. They are free to download as well. So the notes of Luske actually happened in 1936. Animation Meet put it together. These are really amazing. So I have like a bunch of those. Like I have more in the library. This one here by Acting for Animators by Ed Hooks. I remember when it came out, everyone was like, you need to get it, man, you need to get it. So it came out in 2003, just when I started studying. He's an actor that has been teaching acting for animators in all the big studios pretty much. All animators that I've learned from Ed Hooks swear by it. It's a really good book. And it has a foreword by Brad Bird, which I've also have done a piece here in the channel. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it up somewhere. Another one that I got, and this was right at the beginning, was Timing for Animators. This one is a little bit too basic. So if you're just getting started right now in animation and you don't have any clue what animation is, then get this book. It's nice. It has a foreword by John Lasseter, so the book is good. And when I first had it, once again, because I was just getting started, it helped me to understand the basics very well. You guys should get it if you're just getting started in animation. So now, let's get started with the books that I want to recommend, the 5 books that you guys should get. Now, the first 2 are not going to be animation specific, but are definitely going to be useful for your animation knowledge. You know how they say that you need to be a good illustrator in order to be a good animator? That's not necessarily true. There's many CG animators that are not illustrators, but it's crucial for you to understand form, what is an appealing shape, what is not, what goes under all this flesh. I used to want to be an illustrator, not an animator. That's a story for another day. And this book in particular helped me so much to understand where to start and how to get things done. So, Fun with a Pencil by Andrew Loomis. He was an illustrator in the 1930s, in the golden era of drawing in a way. It's the era that you can see a lot of Coca-Cola commercials. If you've seen Mad Men, most likely you know exactly what I'm talking about. He was very, very popular in his time, considered one of the best. He did many books on how to actually kind of get the basics done. Thought about Ratatouille and the chef, when he goes, everyone can cook. Well, Andrew Loomis was the chef of illustration. He used to say, anyone can draw, and this is how you actually get started. And he goes into like, from the basic shape of a circle, to then into like how to actually get a circle or shapes into different appealing poses. And he breaks it down in a way that, like, at the point that I started drawing, which is in 1994, 1995, yeah folks, I'm old. This stuff was like, this makes sense to me. I understand this. I know what he's saying. It's great. And you can see a lot of people using exactly this method. So you can see here, like, he actually goes from a circle to then actually creating the jaw. And the jaw can have different shapes, and depending on the shapes of the jaw, you get different heads. When you see it this way and you just getting started, you're like, damn, makes sense. This is perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. I think everyone should practice illustration if you want to be an animator. Just like an illustrator needs a good pose to do a good drawing, us animators also need a good pose to do a good animation. Highly recommended. Book number 1, Andrew Loomis's Fun with a Pencil. Get it. Book number 2 is Dynamic Anatomy by Fern Hogarth. This book was really popular when it first came out, 1950s. My book, it's actually the 8th printing, 1977, but the first time that it was published was in 1958. People started referring to him as like a book to go to learn about how to actually get dynamic poses, learning about the body, learning how to push the poses and push the body. Glenn Keane used this book as a jumping platform in a way to actually learn his style and learn everything he knows about the human body. I'll insert here a little snippet of him talking about this exact book.
When I grew up, though, he would look at me and he said, Glenn, you're an artist. And you go ahead and take a look at this book. And he'd give me a book on Fern Hogarth's Dynamic Anatomy. He said, study that. Look at the way the muscles are working.
And you can tell that Glenn used a lot of this reference for Tarzan. Yeah, I think it's here that you start to see the feet of Tarzan, like the way they deform and open up. Like I remember specifically every time Tarzan puts a foot or hands down, like as soon as he touches the floor, the hands or feet, they would expand. And this is basically what you get, like that extra flesh around the bone that just expands. Highly recommend this book. Fascinating read. And the first half of the book is just basically him telling you a little bit about the story of illustration. And then the second part, it's the practical part, which is where he teaches you how to push the body. You should definitely get it and just read it once and then look back on it every year or so in order for you to get a refresher. So yeah, go get it. The Illusion of Life. One of the most thickest, heaviest, most amazing, well-illustrated and beautiful books that you can find anywhere. I'm struggling to hold it with one hand just for you guys right now because it's so heavy. So The Illusion of Life was created by Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston. The 9 old men created the basics of animation, and here you can find the 12 principles of animation. This was the first time that it got mentioned, and now they are basically law. But this book is much more than that. So it's not only about the animation, they teach you how to animate, but they will also tell stories about like the behind the scenes on how everything pretty much was done in the Disney headquarters at this time and place. And it's really fascinating to hear and to see. It's almost like that feeling of like being a fly on the wall. If you want to know how animations were made when it was first created and the thought process behind the animators and how creative they were and how much work they used to put in, all those things are contained within this one book.
In the story meetings that they were having, and the animator usually didn't come in until the very end of this. He was so funny when he would act it out, and you could tell that as a kid, under 12, he would have been lying in bed, you know, thinking away, and if a bear came up to me, what would I say to him? And he was so funny, we asked him, can we put a camera on you? Well, hell no, gee, what are you doing? No. Well, he came in the next day and he had this funny old hat that he wore whenever it was raining, and it was all bent down and dripping. And still, as he started to say these lines, he couldn't hold himself back. And he did all these same things, gestures along with it. He did the whole thing.
He was a wonderful actor. He'd get up and act something out in the picture that you wanted. Jungle Book, he did a lot of good stuff for us.
But if there's one book out of all the books that I've actually mentioned here that you want to invest, you should invest on this one. I wanted to be an animator before, but after reading this book, I wanted to be an animator even more. You have a lot of respect for the knowledge, the hard work, how it takes a lifetime to learn animation. No one actually captured that magic that Disney made better than Frank and Ollie. This is why you should get The Illusion of Life. Go get it. So, fourth book that I'll recommend as an animator is obviously a no-brainer, which is Richard Williams' The Animator Survival Kit. Most animators know this book. It's the one book that people call the Bible. To me, the Bible is actually The Illusion of Life because it captures everything about animation. This is considered the Bible because it teaches you how to animate. Richard Williams is a brilliant animator, director of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and he learned a lot from the Nine Old Men, and he put all that knowledge into this one book. And even though he was a brilliant animator, I think his biggest gift was as a teacher. He is a brilliant teacher. He could make anyone be interested in animation and deliver the content in such an engaging way.
Women tend to protect themselves. With the legs, they'll tend to protect the business. See? It's slight, it's subtle, I mean, in a normal woman's walk, you know? So, but with a man, because of the equipment we're carrying, right? There's a tremendous amount of up. The passing position is up, right? Whereas on the woman's walk, there's not much. In this case, there was none. So the passing position becomes terribly important to tell us the quality of the walk.
The first time that I saw Richard in a video was him like analyzing walks and just seeing people in the street going like, he's walking on this amount of frames and she is walking on this, and it was incredible just to see, to go into the mind of someone with that detail. There's loads of things in this book that I consider classic. From the beginning of the book, where he actually details what his experience was at Disney. He gives you a little bit of story of how he actually got started, how he got there, and then he basically goes into breaking down exactly what is animation from a basic standpoint, timing and spacing, to then going into like, so he actually goes into a passing position when you're actually doing walks. He shows you how to do walks, how to break joints as well. Secondary motion. I think the reason why this book is such a genius book is because it's a visual book and you can copy it frame by frame if you like, and you get the exact result. If you were to get this book now, I suggest you get the DVDs or Blu-rays, because on it Richard is actually giving lectures on exactly how he did it. He goes through every single chapter in this book, and then he exemplifies all the animations by actually animating them. That is no small feat after writing a book this dense. He did it and it's beautiful, and it's definitely something you guys should check. Go get it. Now, the fifth and final book is Drawn to Life by Walt Stansfield. He is considered an amazing teacher of animators, so he had many notes that were passed on over the years. And once again, just like the PDF that I showed you before from Animation Meet, they were never published. Don Hahn actually got all the notes together and put them all in this book.
We all know Walt Disney, whose movies inspired all of us, but there are actually two Walts at Walt Disney Studios, Walt Disney and Walt Stansfield. Walt Stansfield was the trainer, the mentor, and the coach for the animation department at Walt Disney Studios for a period of 20 years in the 80s and 90s when films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King were coming out. He worked with us not only on our drawing and the technique of animation, but also on drawing from life.
When we're drawing, we should be interested in what we're drawing.
This one not just notes. You can tell, like, the way it's actually set is like, you know, 70, doodling versus drawing. This is one note, and then you go into purpose in drawing, and that's another note. I have it highlighted all over the place with post-its and stuff. 20 years worth of knowledge in this one book. From a master of animation. There is no reason why this book should not be in your library and stay in your library for many years to come. Yet again, this is another book that shows you that animation is something that takes you a lifetime to learn. You just have to be humbled by this. When you are a professional and you start animating, within a few years it's easy for you to start thinking that you know everything you need to know because things become slightly routine. It's not true, and if you ask any animation master, they'll be the first one to tell you that they are chasing either someone or something that they haven't gotten yet. Nothing was ever truly learned. This book really shows it in spades, so go get it. One thing that I like to do is leave a book open on my desk at work. I'll show here an image of my desk and exactly how it is at this point in time. And you'll see that the book is open. In this case, it's Drawn to Life. And I have a marker because I like to highlight anything that kind of just jumps at me. And the reason why I leave it always open in my desk is because at least once a day, I try to leave at least 15 minutes that I can read a paragraph or a piece or note in the case of Walt's book, and then I consume that little nugget, then I can go back to work again. Having the book open and kind of going from being on the computer screens, keyboard, to then going back into like reading text on a page of a book feels really refreshing. It's a reminder that you should never stop learning animation, and it keeps that animation fuel topped up. That's how I feel, at least. So give it a try. Let me know what you think. If you tried it, comment below and let me know if it worked out for you as well as it does for me. Second tip is to have a notebook. As you read these books, you will get ideas, and these ideas will hopefully in the future become fruition. Like this YouTube channel. That is basically something that I actually wrote here in Harvey Newman's Book of Animation. It's full of stuff that I wrote over the years. Obviously I won't show you guys because it's secret. It's really useful to have next to you. Whenever I have a good idea, they just goes click. I just open my animation book and write it down real quick, close it, put it aside, and look at it in the future. If I'll check on it in a week or two and I still think, damn, that's really good, then I go ahead and do it. Or I plan how to do it, just like this channel. It's been on the plans for a while, and finally I managed to do it, and you guys are loving it, and I appreciate that. Really cool. Promised. Now that we got to the end of the video, let's open this bad boy right here. Too excited. Oh. All right. So this is, I think that's it, there's nothing else. It's from a company called Flipbook. And this was a Kickstarter campaign. Maybe some of you guys know. It's a flipbook. That's basically what it is. It's just a flipbook. A couple of flipbooks, really. So they come like this. And then this is extra. Little secret, I actually never tried to do a flipbook, so this will be my first flipbook. I might do an episode about it. I don't know. Should I? Let me know in the comments if you think that I should. It's really easy to flip actually. Woo. It feels sexy. Woo. So easy that I can actually feel the wind hitting my face. Also comes with a squash and stretch, ease in and ease out, anticipation. Pretty cool how they did the some of the principles right here. Nice. And then the one that I actually kind of got their funding for, which is Molecularis. Use this card as a separator to avoid staining the opposite page. Oh man, that's cool. What detail? As you're doing it, you can just leave this in here so you don't stain it while you do that. Like that. That is Molecularis by Flipbook. If you guys want to get it, I'll leave a link below. I'm not sponsored by them. I just wanted to support a little bit of really well done campaign for something animated because I think we need to support our own. Alright, so we came to the end of another episode. This one was a little bit less hands-on and more tips and tricks than the usual. I hope you guys enjoy it. As always, thank you very much for all the love. The last video that I did about first-person animation went down a storm. I love the fact that you guys got to see a little bit of behind the scenes of what happens. I will try to do many more of those. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the likes. This channel has been growing very well. I think there's a lot of attention and I appreciate that. I still need your help in order to spread the word. So if you guys feel like this content is nice, feel like this content is good for you, please go out there and spread the word and tell a fellow animator or fellow someone that actually is interested in animation to come and check it out, because I think the more people will get involved in this, the more things I'll be able to do. The more things I'll be able to do, the more dope this channel is gonna be. And I'm feeling pumped. I hope that you too. So I'll leave you guys until the next one, coming next Monday. Stay well, stay safe. Peace!